Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're here in the Tucker Speed Studio. Zach Heron alongside Tony Tucker. And, man, Tony, I'm still at a high off of that last race. A great job from our entire podium finishers there. And only expecting more action out of this Nebraska 811 Middleweight Superbike coming up next.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat the action we just watched in that lightweight or the next-gen class and DP Brakes Liquid Twins. But I bet you this middleweight class is going to have some great battles going on.
Absolutely, as the riders are getting locked up on grid. We'll see how things are going to shake out. We had some great racing action yesterday. Can't help but expect more of the same today. As you can see, the stands are packed and the green flag is down. The front tire up. It looks like that is going to be the number 80 of Chris Hasemeyer trying to grab the early race lead.
Yeah, Chris was our race winner yesterday. Oh, 205 got stood up there in turn one. That was a little scary, but yeah, like I was saying, Hayes, as they call him down in the pits, won yesterday, and he's looking to repeat today.
Absolutely, Hayes trying to make quick work of it. He's got Jamie Hansen and Kira Neville behind him. And like you said, I believe that was the 205 of Neville getting stood up in turn one. Maybe explain to the fans exactly kind of what that's like. Obviously a little different with the backers, but all of a sudden, you're not leaning, you're not turning.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't quite see what happened there, but yeah, that bike stood up for whatever reason. I don't know if the back tire might have skipped out a little bit or, you know, whatever happened there, you know. But yeah, it's an unnerving feeling, and Kira's just going to have to just put it behind her and just focus forward, forget about all that, and just focus on the job ahead of her.
And that's such a good point to bring up, the mental side of things as well. We've talked about it's hot, it's physically demanding, but the mental side of things, you're pushing over 100 miles an hour headed in some of these corners, and all of a sudden you start sliding the front end, the back end kicks out from under you. It can be very difficult to just immediately throw that in the rear view and focus on what's in front of you.
Yeah, and it's really easily said and very hard to do out there, and adrenaline is running, and you know, something like that can really just get your heart rate spiked. You just gotta have to, you know, think inside your helmet, breathe, settle down, relax, you know, don't get tense and just focus forward and get back to work.
Kira seems to be doing a great job as she is still out there on course hanging tough in that third place spot. Hayes comes across the line, leading the way right now with Jamie Hansen on that 911 machine. Now, something worth noting, Hansen is fresh off the track.
Yeah, Hansen is doing a double duty here, back-to-back races, running a next-gen bike and also a middleweight bike here. So, I mean, obviously, he must be in really great shape to be able to get out there and battle back-to-back races. And we'll see if he can get up here and, you know, try and mix it up with Hayes as he is kind of stretching out that lead a little bit.
Yeah, Hayes right now really seems to be firing on all cylinders. As you can see, has opened that gap up and was probably sitting there taking notes on everybody in the next gen class. Says, okay, all right, they're still looking good. They're pushing tough into this. As you get the on-track middleweight superbike class rundown, it is Hayes leading the way. Chris Hasemeyer, everybody in the pits calls him Hayes. Jamie Hansen in second with Kira Neville rounding out the podium as of now. And Kira not out of this yet. She's starting to creep back into the picture. She might have taken Tony's advice and said, you know what, I'm putting that in the rear view. I want to get into this battle for second.
Yeah, just settle down and march forward. That's all you can do. And, you know, just the race isn't over until it's over. You never know what's going to happen. You know, where these guys could have a mix-up or a bad line or mechanical. You never know what's going to happen. So just stay in the race until the checkered flag flies.
It's such a good point. It's such a cool aspect of racing, right? Whether it's two wheels, four wheels, no matter what discipline, anything can happen. And it seems like it always, right when you think you know what's going to happen, you catch a surprise, right? And like we said, somebody like Hayes, he could run into some kind of issue. Obviously, we're not hoping for that. We want everybody to be running at full potential, but in racing, anything can happen.
Yeah, looking at the lap times, it looks like Chris has kind of got it, you know, running 134s as his best lap. You know, Jamie and Kira running 138, so they're very close in times, and it's just going to be tough for Kira. If if the guy in front of you is running the same lap times, it's really hard to chip away at that lead and get up there and battle with him.
And so because of that, he's got the lead opened up, maybe not giving, I mean, obviously he's giving 100%, but not pushing the envelope, right? He's like, hey, I've done the work. I've opened the gap up. Now let's just focus on being safe and bring this thing to the checkered flag.
Yeah, and he's not pushing the envelope right now. He's riding very relaxed. He's not in the attack position. He's just kind of clicking off those laps. He knows he's got, the speed to stay out front, and there's no reason, if they don't give you another trophy if you beat them by 30 seconds or 3 seconds. So just get across the finish line, get that number one, that podium position, and move on to the next race and try and do it again later this afternoon.
Well, we talked about Kira Neville getting stood up there in turn 2, or I believe it was actually turn 1 earlier in the race, but she has put it behind her, and now she's trying to make her way around Jamie Hansen for the second place spot. The battle is on for the silver medal position.
Yeah, this is getting good. Kira's done a great job of just putting that little incident behind her and just focusing forward and just clicking off laps, and she has creeped up to the back tire of Jamie Hansen.
Now, like we said, Hansen was in that last race, might be feeling a little fatigue after 7 laps already in the book. Kira Neville, relatively fresh, obviously wasn't out there already. She's out, she's swinging, and she's trying to make a pass right now for second.
Kira's looking very aggressive right now. She's looking inside, outside. I think she's looking for the right place to make a pass right here. This is going to be a great battle right here.
Let's see what happens. We've seen 11 kind of make or break. You set it up right, it can set the pass up in 12. Wasn't quite close enough on that lap. 13, another corner where we've seen several passes made. And Hansen and Milroy, the one thing about Hansen in that last race, he was in the midst of battle. And so maybe got a little experience as far as, hey, this is where they're going to try to make the pass, because if you remember, he was the guy trying to make his way around James Milroy.
Yeah, the rules are reversed here, and Hansen is playing the defensive position and trying to, ride a wide bike and, take up as much real estate on the racetrack as possible and not give up anything to Kira. But Kira's, she's just inching closer and closer, trying to look for that perfect opportunity to dive underneath or make the outside pass.
Well, and you just said it, riding a wide bike and almost riding behind you, right? Trying to predict where the rider behind you is going to go. That's a hard thing to do, as if you're not already focusing on what you're doing, going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and some racers are good at it, and some they just, they can only focus forward. But, some of the best in the game know who's behind them, and they know how to ride defensively and take the preferred lines, ride a wide bike, as we call it, and not let anybody around. And that's part of the game out here. It's not just who you pass, but it's also who you don't let pass you.
Kira Neville feeling great right now, and she is able to see exactly what lines Hansen's taking, decides whether she wants to try to set up for the inside, maybe take the long way around on the outside. But she has held consistently within a couple of bike lanes for over a lap now. But just like you said earlier, Tony, catching up is one thing, getting around is a whole different story.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And, Kira's going to have to get creative. Looks like she might have made a little mistake there, ran wide. Nearing the end here, we got the white flag, so she's got 1 lap to make it happen. Let's see if she can inch up on Jamie Hansen and make a pass.
Well, that's what we talked about as far as the patience and going slow to go fast. Certain corners, especially 11 and 13, you've got to make sure to hit your marks, because like you said, they're pushing the envelope. They're trying as hard as they can to make time up to find a way around, but a simple mistake like going wide, you can see what happens. She's opened it up by about 5 to 6 bike lanes on the final lap. It's going to be hard. She's going to need a miracle to catch up.
Yeah, she's going to have to ride a heck of a lap to catch Jamie at this time around. But we'll see if she can have it. Looks like Chris Hayes is just out there in cruise control, man. He's in the upright position, just enjoying life right now. Saving a little bit of energy for the race coming up later on that he'll be on. And, he went out and did his job, hit the marks, executed, and bringing it home.
Well, it just goes to show, get the damage done early, get up front, get the gap, and you can manage it from there. Hayes doing just that as he makes his way through the final couple of corners. Tries to grab the win here for the Nebraska 811 Middleweight Superbike class. And he's not just looking at another trophy, he's looking at one of those championship belts.
That's a great feeling to take home the gold belt from the weekend. That means you got the points lead going into next round.
Well, wait a second now.
Kira has come back.
She said, hang on, boys, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
As they get ready to make their way, I believe that was headed into 11. We're going to try to watch Hayes come across the line, and then I'd love to see, the ladies, you see him on the back of the screen, it looked like Hansen had stretched it out just a little bit.
Hats off to Kira, really trying to charge hard that last lap, never giving up, just staying in the race and just charging all the way to the finish line. But there it is, finishes Jamie Hansen with the second place and Kira coming out in third.
Wow, a great race there from both of them, and especially after that scare early in the race, Kira Neville able to shake it off and put the charge on. And man, both of them got to be happy with that, because that was a fun race.
Yeah, I think hats off to Kira there. I mean, you know, it's really hard to, you know, have a little bobble like that and just put it behind you, and she did just that. She executed it perfectly, put it behind her, marched forward, and got back in the fight. And that's something, you know, something to be proud of.
Absolutely. It looks like they're going to try to ride up next to one another, give thumbs up, and congratulate each other on a great race.
Unlimited Superbike, this is a 2-minute call to grid.
Nice. You guys looked awesome. And a 137.1.
Not just like once, but I did 137 multiple times.
Yes, you did. But I think 137.1 was your fast.
No, but if you put the tire warmers on, it helps the tires cool down slower, so it preserves them better.
And going to give you a little replay of that Nebraska 811 middleweight superbike class. This is how it all went down. As you can see, Hayes there picking the front end up, trying to get the power to the ground, and he was able to do just that. Now watch the 205 machine. She comes in, stands it up. We thought that might be all she wrote. That was a scary mistake, and it could have had some big, costly consequences. She was able to do a great job, Kira Neville, saving that. And we was like, okay, maybe she got a little stolen from that one. That might be she just hangs on for third place. We were wrong, my friends. She came back and gave a great battle for the second place spot. Haysmeyer out front was handling business. Jamie Hansen sitting there in second. And sure enough, Kira Neville started to close the gap up, and we thought we were going to see a pass. Now, like we mentioned, Hansen doing, I believe it's triple duty out there in multiple different classes. So I'm sure after spending so many laps, he's got to be pretty tired. He's working hard out there, but Kira doing a great job. She set the pace and tried to sneak around the outside a couple of times, was looking inside, was looking outside, but wasn't quite able to make the pass. There you see on screen just how close they were. She tracked him back down, and Hansen doing a great job. Like we said, got to be tired after spending this many laps, but still had enough fight in the tank to be able to hang on for second place, running a great defensive ride and making sure Kira wasn't able to get around. And that was how the podium got wrapped up. So it was Chris Haysmeyer grabbing the win, Jamie Hansen second, and Kira Neville third there in your Nebraska 811 middleweight superbike. And looks like we're getting the last of the bikes set up, and we're going to get them up on the podium. We'll send it down to Tony Tucker with your Nebraska 811 middleweight superbike podium.
All right, everybody, the last podium of the day. Save the best for last. There were some great battles in this middleweight class. Kira, we saw you bobble on the turn one, and you just put your head down and battled back. Tell us how that race went.
Well, I got a really good start, really gotten into that position that I wanted. We got really, really close coming through turn one, so I just stood it up out of respect, didn't want to take any of us out. And then from there, just tried to catch back up and wait until Jamie made a mistake, and he didn't. He raced really, really well, so great race out there.
Yeah, it was exciting action, maybe the most exciting race of the day. I know you got a lot of support. Who do you need to thank today?
Well, I want to thank Vortex and Bison Leathers and LM2 for getting our team together out here. Michelin with Trackside Labs really helping me get the suspension set up and getting some really sticky tires on the bike. And DP Brakes, really phenomenal stopping power on that, so awesome job.
Right on. Well, everybody put your hands together. Paula Fox has got your third place trophy. Kira, congratulations. Our second place finisher, Jamie Hansen. Jamie, might as well just take up residency up here, man. This is great. Tell us how the middleweight race went for you.
It was good. Yeah, the first corner was a little sketchy, and then I pulled away, and then one corner I looked back and I seen her coming, and then